Hey everybody, I'm Joe Killinger. I'm a real estate investor and entrepreneur, and we put these videos together every week to give you all the tips and insights from my experience over the last several years. So make sure you tune in and subscribe, and thank you. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Today I've got a very special guest on a very incredible topic that I think a lot of you are going to want to get a really understanding of, and that's how do we get more women into commercial real estate. And so, again, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, please do subscribe, and when we're done here today, make sure you smash that like button. My guest, Natalie Wainwright. Natalie, hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, thank you. Thank you for tuning in, for coming on today, and tuning in, I guess, right?
Thank you for having me. This is an important topic, so I'm very honored that you had me on.
It's a topic that is, I guess I sent you the website, but it's a topic for our company as well, we're very passionate about. Because getting women into commercial real estate, especially on the brokerage side, we found to be a real challenge. And I've never been able to figure out what's really going on. I see a good number of women get into the business, and they're there for a few years, and I don't see them moving up a lot, or I see them exiting the business and going on to something else. And so I'm very thankful that, I guess do we meet on Twitter? Is that where we started talking?
Yeah,
I think it was, right?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. And then now you're working with a few agents in our office, and everybody speaks highly of you. But I learned about your radio show that you're doing and everything you're doing to empower women in commercial real estate. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your company, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Natalie Wainwright, and I service all of Nevada as an exclusive tenant rep at Logic Commercial. I've been in the business for about 9 years. And we'll kind of touch on it, my entry, because I think mine is unique to how typically women find this as a niche. But yeah, I've been at Logic for about a year, absolutely love what I do, and I love working with the agents in your office. So thank you for referring me.
Yeah, what were you doing before?
I was a stay-at-home mom. So I was a military wife, stay-at-home mom until I went through a divorce, and then said, "Hey, gotta be able to make some money," because he was no longer going to be involved financially. So started at Cushman & Wakefield as the receptionist in 2012.
What intrigued you? What made you want to get into brokerage?
Well, I didn't. It took me a month as the receptionist to realize what CRE meant. When you're up front and everyone's behind the big glass doors, you don't know what's going on back there. So luckily I was taken back as an assistant, and I absolutely fell in love with brokerage. And it sounds, my hashtag is CRE hippie, but I feel like I'm helping people. I feel like I am, in a little tiny way, making the world a better place and helping business owners.
Yeah.
Not be taken advantage of. So I love what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've been in it for a little over a year now. You're already one of the top producers in Las Vegas, correct?
Yeah, I've been with Logic for a year. So before that, I was with Cushman & Wakefield, as you know, for 8 years. So top tenant rep here, and the only all-female tenant rep team in the state, which is something that I'm really proud of.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
But now, you've got an all-female team. Now, did you have a mentor getting into this, or how did you get your foot in the door to start doing it?
I did. So I had a mentor. I was hired by 2 males, and one was a top tenant rep, still is top tenant rep in Las Vegas. And then the other broker was a landlord rep. So they hired me to purely just be their assistant. They took me from the receptionist position and said, "Hey, come back here and help us keep our properties in order," and all of that. And I just naturally gravitated towards the tenant rep side of the business. And that individual, who had then turned into my, years down the road, turned into my business partner, he had more of the, I'm going to show you everything that I know and treat you as an equal and present you as an equal to the market versus the other broker, who was incredible and I learned a lot from, but only one of them had the capacity and saw me that the potential in me being an equal. The other one was very traditional when it comes to male and female roles in business.
Okay. I guess I want to really just go right into it. Why
Let's
don't
hop
you,
in,
why
man.
do you,
Let's do it.
yeah, I'm scared. Why aren't there more women in commercial real estate? I don't understand it. I mean, it's a great business. You can make money, but, you know, it's
Yeah.
see it. It's what, 35%, 40% of the people in business are in this business are women. That's it.
Yep, just 35. Some figures say 43%. A huge network that anybody watching this video you need to check out is Crew Network. There's 12,000 members globally. They're dedicated to advancing women in the commercial real estate field. And so every city has a chapter. Check out yours. I really attribute Crew to giving me the skills that I needed as I progressed through my career. Because obviously, as you raise in stature and you take on speaking engagements in your market, on the office market, or whatever your niche is, you need to improve those social skills. You need to dress the part. And that's what Crew kind of fills that gap in for you if you don't have somebody to help you in your own market. But yeah, it's male dominated. And I think that we're smart enough, we're capable enough. A big problem would be that they don't know that it's an option. I think a lot of people think, oh, real estate, I'm going to sell houses. They don't understand that, hey, commercial real estate, and you make way more money. So it's great. But I talk on college campuses and I go into these business classes and I want them to understand that you don't have to be a certain way. You don't have to look a certain way, or your parents don't have to own real estate. You can be whoever you are and bring those skills that you have into the commercial real estate field. And it doesn't mean you have to be a broker. You can be an asset management. You could be a property manager, an architecture, an attorney that specializes in real estate. There's so many amazing fields within this industry that you can fill. And there's only 35 to 43% are women. So anytime you walk into a room, you're naturally going to stand out because you're probably the only female at the boardroom table, which I think is an advantage.
It is, but it can also be very intimidating. When you walk into that room.
Yeah. And dollars to donuts, you're not going to be invited into the room. So you have to invite yourself. And that is the most important tip that I give women is do not sit there and expect anyone to invite you to anything. You need to invite yourself. And if it's your client or something that you're leading, double goes there. You will be left out of the conversations if you don't assert yourself.
Right. I see so many women that are entrepreneurs, and I think if you're a female entrepreneur, this is an ideal business for you. I think you can knock it out of the park here. And I know so many good ones, but you're talking about commercial real estate, and I think they really liken it to this $1 Million Listing, those kind of shows, thinking that's kind of what it's like, when in fact it's not. This is a real business. You're in the office every day doing your thing, and I really think that is it a management thing in these companies? Do you think maybe some of the bigger brokerage companies aren't managing people right, and maybe the women are getting intimidated and leaving? Because I'm not seeing I see some women, but on a percentage basis, a lot of them end up after a couple of years leaving the industry.
Let me just start with this, Joe. And like you said, we met on Twitter. I am so thankful that here you are, you and George own your own brokerage and you're having these thoughts and having these conversations. I can tell you you're alone in your path. I think a lot of the big brokerages, and I come from an incredible brokerage that I have nothing but love and respect for, everybody says it and they use the buzzwords diversity and women empowerment. Nobody understands why it's happening. And so your question is so important. And the answer is even more important. It's because it's hard. And we're all, lots of women, we're tough as nails. And it's not that we can't handle it. It is a management problem because the management doesn't understand that it is an issue. Now, the issue isn't that I go into the room and I'm the only female. The issue isn't sexual harassment or the fact that I need to masculinize myself to be accepted. The issue is that nobody's acknowledging that there is an issue. And that it is twice as hard for women to enter this business, maybe 3 times as hard. And I would like to say that it's about 10 times as hard to stay in it. There is a major lack of understanding in that. And the women that do make it through, They don't like to turn around and say, you know what, it is hard. This is what you can do. And that's why crew is so important. I do that. Anybody that makes it, you need to turn around and pull the next generation of women up with you. Because if you don't, we're not going to have enough women behind us. So it is a management issue, to answer your question.
If I'm a woman in a commercial real estate brokerage, what can I go talk? How do I bring it up to my management? What do I say?
That's where it's sensitive, because you don't ever, and I actually did do this with a market leader years ago, and he's no longer associated with my old company. So I feel comfortable saying this. And they noticed the problem and they got rid of the problem. But he actually told me that I was too big for my britches, and I thought I was here and I was actually here. And that, who do I think I am to have these conversations? And the conversation that started was, women are treated not equally in this office. And the answer was, you're being a victim. You need to look at that differently. So to answer your question, I don't think you go in with a mindset of, hey, I'm at a disadvantage being female, because you're not. You need to change your thought process, because if you have that thought process, you're not going to make it. It's an advantage. Right. It's how you use it. So don't just go in and complain. Go in with an action plan. Form a group, merge with other offices. You're an independent brokerage, find another independent brokerage. You guys come together and you do a group of women and how to advance yourselves. But go in with a plan. Go in with hard data of what's going on, what the difference is, and what you'd like to see. And that's all there is to it. And I do recommend that you don't take no for an answer. The pay parity in male to female in brokerage is, for every $150,000 that men make, women make $115,000. So we do need to be strong and hold our line, so that way this can end and we can be 50-50 and 150,000 and 150,000.
Right. Yeah. First of all, I want to go back. I was laughing when the guy was telling you were below him. I just can't imagine your face when you're sitting there. I don't know why he thought he got to live through this. He should be relieved now, right?
I've been told that by numerous men.
Yeah, well, I think I was laughing because I thought it was a funny story. It's laughing because, no, I couldn't imagine you sitting there taking that. Going into the plan is a key. And you know what? The bottom line is, there are brokerages out there that do. I know some, and I'm in Los Angeles, so I know great brokerages. If you're in Los Angeles, you're a female. Obviously, Commercial Brokers International is number one here, but there are other great firms that I can tell you to talk to, because they do embrace women. So, but I do also, when we're doing recruiting, some of them that we talk to, we've been talking to recently, but first of all, they're afraid to leave their company because they're afraid the company is going to keep all their commissions. But they also say, there's no way for me to move up in this company.
Yep.
And I don't know why. You're an entrepreneur, go to a brokerage firm that will reward you for working hard, not because of your male or female. And there are great companies out there. You don't have to if you're not happy with the brokerage you're at, you don't want to go to work every day. And life is short. Find a brokerage that you want to work at. I mean, as you can see in this, Natalie, you can never stop smiling, but I think that's just probably your nature. But you love what you're doing.
Sure.
Yeah, you love what you're doing, and everybody, male or female, should have that, because it just makes life so much easier. I got off on a little tangent there, didn't I? But
no,
sorry.
And I think that that's important. And another reason that I think this is great that this is happening, because I'm from Southern California, and I have referred women to brokerages, whether it was my old one or a local one, and they're having the same experience. So I think if you go with the same mindset, you're going to have the same problems. So if you're a woman and you're unhappy and you feel like you're not being treated equally and you're not able to climb that ladder, because you need to be able to climb the ladder, do find somebody where their core values are that you're equal and you do have a plan to climb. And it took me leaving my past company to say this, and again, nothing but respect and love, that I didn't realize that circumstances where you are constantly having a thumb on top of you, where you are, I had a high heel on top of me, unfortunately, which hurts twice as much when women do it to one another. but you don't realize that your lens in which you look at your business and your clients and this industry is so distorted because every single day you're asserting yourself. If you are a woman in this industry and every single day of your life, you are asserting the fact that you should be there, you are worthy, and that you're not stupid, which unfortunately is something that I did for a very long time, you are absolutely in a situation you don't need to be in. I highly recommend you find a different situation. And it's very liberating. It is possible to love what you do. It is possible to be treated with respect and invited to the table. I haven't asserted myself one time at Logic. Not one time have I been devalued since I've been here in over a year. Every single day of my career was spent. But wait, I am worthy. Wait, I am smart. Wait, I do know what I'm doing. Wait, that's my client. I don't want to be quiet. Let me talk every single day of my life. And so I thought I wasn't cut out for the industry. I thought I wasn't worthy. I thought I wasn't smart enough. And those are all things that you tell yourself when you're in an environment where you're not supported and you're not empowered. So if you're in that environment, it does get better. Get yourself out of it. And nothing's worth being in that atmosphere.
How often did you see other women pushing other women down? Was that a common thing?
No, not really.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm just really fortunate in Southern Nevada. I mean, the other office brokers in this market, we tell each other we love each other. They share their rent rolls. Like we love each other and we want to win. And but there are some toxic personalities, and I think, and the excuse for them is that they were beaten up all the way up the food chain, and they made it, and now they're tough as nails. Now listen, our past can't make us into some ugly golem, and that you're toxic and mean and you're not empowering. You've got to flip the script and become everything that you wish you would have had. And there are some, of course, there's tough women that want that are just, they'll call your clients directly, or I've had some awful things happen. And like I said, I think when it's a fellow woman, it hurts a little bit more because we really need to support each other.
Yeah, I agree. I just think across you're seeing an evolution in commercial real estate. It used to be such a good old boys network where you didn't talk about your leads, you didn't, what you were doing, but you're afraid somebody would steal it. And you're seeing it, and then maybe it's more of a residential twist. It's the offices, like in our office, our agents will sit down. We'll have an office meeting every couple of weeks, and we'll talk about our wants and needs. And if we're going on a listing and presentation, they'll talk about it in front of the other people other agents to see if they have any, have you done anything in this area? What's working? What happened? And, they offer feedback to each other. So they're all about supporting each other. And we find that that's really an environment that is really a positive. It really creates a positive communication between our agents. And so it's something that people should take a look at. All right, so if I'm a female, why do I want to get into commercial real estate? Because it's the
greatest industry ever. It's the greatest. And I have a lot of college kids go, good, should I get that degree in accounting, or should I get that degree, or can I, because they see how much we make and they think, I don't need to go to school. Go to school, get your education. Those skills are certainly going to help you in commercial real estate. So why do you want to be in commercial real estate? Because it's the greatest career ever. You get to drive down streets and see actual blocks of land that you impacted. You get to see signs of your tenants as you're driving down the freeway. And like I do with my kids, and they roll their eyes, look, mom put that client in there, mom built that building. So it's just such a great career where you actually see the fruits of your labor all around the city that you're in. If you're on the brokerage side, obviously, which is the only side I can speak to. It's an aggressive business, which is fun. It's quick. It's quick, but it's glacial. You need to move quickly, but understand that the payout is long. So you do need to make sure that pipeline is filled. And you get to just show your personality. I think anybody from anywhere with any background can make it in this industry if they're willing to work hard and they have integrity. I think that the ones that you kind of see pop up, we all see people pop up in our market, and they're, the young guy that's 24 and the dad's really wealthy and he's got the Bluetooth in the ear. But if you don't have the integrity to back up everything else that you bring, the market will correct you. So come in with integrity, be honest, and bring that aggressive nature, bring all those skills that you have. I don't know if you saw it, but a girl reached out to me and said, I don't have any skills. What am I going to write on my LinkedIn profile? I just got my license. I want to be a commercial broker. You've got all kinds of skills. You graduated from a college, so you are able to follow through on things. You are punctual. There's just things, mothers, there's things that we bring. We can handle difficult personalities, and there's a lot of them. I just love this industry because it doesn't matter who you are or what you have, you can make it if you're willing to work hard. So, I mean, there's no bigger message than that. You want to get smarter, you want to do better, take the classes, make the time, but there's no cap on what we can make. Nobody for the rest of my life will ever tell me how much money I'm going to make, because nobody's paying me but myself. So the sky's the limit.
Yeah, well, I do think that, you do see in some brokerage houses a lot of turnover for new people, 90-some%. And I just think a lot of people get into this business, male and female, thinking, oh, I'm going to do this. And, in the first year, I'm going to make a couple $100,000.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
If you're doing cold calling, you're building relationships, maybe you can get something, that'll tide you by, hopefully. I mean, we want to see everybody succeed as fast as we can. But, you got to come in and understand that, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, you're making a lot of calls your first day that you're ready. Sphere of influence, work LinkedIn, work social. I mean, everybody, I'll make sure I put your social out everywhere so you can connect. And everybody, you should connect with Natalie on Twitter and LinkedIn and everywhere else, because she puts good content out and it's regular. You're consistent. Do you have a pattern that you do for social, or you just when you have it?
Yeah, it's always authentic in the moment of what I'm feeling. So if you follow me, just know that I'm a fiery Italian woman, and I love what I do, and I love fellow human beings. So I do share probably a little, but that seems to be the key to my success. When I get new clients, it's never, hey, I saw that you were a power broker. It's, hey, I saw that you have 2 kids and one's off to college. It's personal things that kind of ties us together. So yeah, no Hootsuite, no nothing. It's authentic in that moment. And that's another tip. Just be authentically who you are in that time. Don't force things.
Well, that's exactly my point. Is I think you're doing it right, because you do business and you do good business there, posts, but you also show a part of yourself and your personality, and people are like, okay, I want to work with her. And so, or him. I mean, you got to show what makes you. It brings down a lot of walls. And sometimes agents, even newer agents, just say, no, I'm not getting on social. I'll do LinkedIn. That's it. And so I'm like, okay, well, you could be. Yeah, you're missing a good portion of a potential client. So, but yeah, that's, I really think that.
Sorry to cut you off. And a potential relationship, Joe. So I think the only reason that you and I are doing this, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity, and I hope that this helps a lot of people, and it has the capacity to, is, you and I being on Twitter for 2 years and seeing the things that you like and seeing your responses and seeing what you tweet, and you're just a genuine, really good human being, that if I have clients in that market that I'll be doing, because obviously you're a professional, you've been doing this for a long time. So it's just a way for me to, because people do business with people they like. I don't care how successful you are. If you're mean or you have a really bad reputation, I don't want to work with you.
Yeah. Actually, we just had that this morning. One of our agents came in and goes,
I think it's just an opportunity to meet more people. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, we were having a conversation this morning with one of the agents, and he was reluctant to call this other company's agent because you can't find anybody that doesn't not want to talk to his broker from this company, because he's just so short. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He's just very, very hard to talk to. He doesn't like to communicate, doesn't like to give a lot of information. And, I think if you realize that in the end, we're all trying to work in this business together, and we are a community. And if you can take a new person and mentor them and make sure that they know this industry and they're going to be good at it, then all boats rise. All you've done is help the industry. And instead of being me oriented, it's we. We are in this industry. How can we make money, and how can we help bring in? You have to have newer people coming in. And so, I just think it's key.
Well,
so
yeah.
Always, are you mentoring anybody right now?
I'm mentoring a lot of people right now. Yeah. I absolutely, I'm probably mentoring about 9 women right now that are new to the industry, or they're in the industry, but they haven't quite hit their stride.
Okay.
It is something that I do. I'll never say no to anybody. I lead Zoom calls on how to do things and find new clients and prospect, and I'm always there for the day that you get your teeth kicked in, because it will happen to you, for you to call. And I had Barbie Reuter at P-Core Cushman & Wakefield in Tucson, Arizona, to call and go, oh my gosh, guess what just happened? And sometimes just hearing somebody go, oh yeah, I've been told that I need to wear hose in the summer too. Or, oh yeah, I've had a woman look at me and go, oh, you're not supposed to wear open-toed shoes, or, whatever the situation is, or if you're not invited to your own meeting, happens all the time. So just anybody can call me and I will absolutely be that confidential sounding board. But the difference in the movement from when I started and now, and like you said, we're a community. I like to say we're a family, CRE fam. Genuinely, it's people like you though that are going to make the difference, Joe. So it's not so much me, and I can be out there and be as vocal as I can. It's going to be the yous and the Ken Ashleys and the Coy Davidsons and the men that are really successful and really celebrated and known, to say, hey guys, this is an issue, and acknowledge it, and then empower the women around you. Like, we will never be 50-50 if we don't have that other 65% of the industry backing us. So like you said, good old boys club. Yeah, absolutely. So we need that support of that club. And so many of you buck that system and aren't a part of it. So, continue to just bring it up, have it be a conversation piece between you and the other decision makers that are all men.
Right. Yeah, no, it's something where it's hard to open that door, but once we find that there's communication, there is desire to get more women into it, because, I'm a firm believer that they can knock it out of the park in this industry. Now, if I'm new, Natalie, what should I be looking for in a mentor?
Good question. You want to look for somebody that's willing to give you the time and that has the time. And so to ask somebody to be your mentor is a big ask. We're all really busy, and they're successful because they're busy. So make sure you're adding value while you're asking for a mentor. You want somebody that, don't go to somebody that makes $150,000 a year. There's nothing to share there. You want to go towards someone that has a pie to share should you eventually climb the ranks. You want to be able to share in the commissions if you're bringing in business and helping service that. In terms of like mentor, mentee, you want somebody that's honest, and will show you like a no holds barred look into it, and that will include you. Like, invite me to a meeting. I won't speak. I think that women should never attend a meeting that they're not a part of. But as a mentee, you kind of have that little window where you can attend a meeting. Ask to record phone calls. I still have from my old mentor, because he was so successful and so prolific in what he did. I recorded our calls with his permission, of course, and would memorize them as I was driving. So make sure that if you're going to ask somebody to be your mentor, that they are successful as one, they have the time, they're open, and that they're going to show you things. Ask to see their templates of their proposals and their purchase agreements and other things of that nature. And if they're not willing to share it with you, I suggest you move on. You want somebody that's going to kind of give you the keys to the castle, the abundance feeling, not the, okay, I'm grooming my potential, competition.
Yeah, well, I do think you really struck a chord with, if you're going to look for a mentor, you need to bring value yourself, because, you can't just go get all this information from somebody that's highly successful and not be giving something back. And it's, maybe you can, but I don't know how giving they're going to be then. But if you bring value of, maybe it's an older person that doesn't know how to do their social, you can come in and show them how to do it. If they're doing something that, really could just use, they don't want to do all this filing, you come in a couple of days a week and do that for them. Bring value to them. That's what we always tell our people.
Every broker needs data entry help, every broker. So that's something that maybe you don't do while you're in the mentee mentor, while you're learning from them actively, but bring something home, work at night, do something to show value that you're willing to work for it. I've had a lot of people walk in my office and say, hey, I'll bring you this deal and we'll work it together. Or can I work with you, or things like that. And if you don't keep coming back and you don't keep asking and you don't show value and that you're hungry, no one's going to give you the time of day.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be aggressive. If you really want to get into this industry, especially as a woman, you need to find the right mentor, I suggest, or the right training, which you can't put me in a class and I'm going to learn anything. It's just way too thick up here I'm a hands-on person.
It doesn't mean you're thick. It just means you're not auditory. That's okay.
I'm thick. If you don't believe me, you can ask my mother. She'll confirm it. But, a good mentoring program is always great. And, we even have, some of our multifamily agents will tag along with our office and retail guys when they're doing a showing on some retail leases, and just to kind of pick that up and brush themselves up. So, they really, great. They'll just tag along and talk. And so this supportive culture is what works for us. It's not going to be that way. And we're a smaller company, so it's a lot easier for us, right? But bigger companies, that's harder. And
but as you grow, if you're thoughtful in your growth process, you'll be able to continue that same thing. The fact that you're even having this conversation, I think you're light years beyond your competition. So, I don't think it's any easier because you're smaller. I think that it's a mindset.
I hope so. But all right, Natalie, if I missed anything that you can think of, because I think this is such I'm afraid I've got you here, and so I've got the big one on the line, and I'm pulling out a lot. I'm like, I don't want to end this, but we've been at this a while. So
I think you covered it all. I want to again offer to be a resource for anybody. I think you and I will continue to have these conversations, and I invite anybody that has value to add or questions to ask to reach out to either one of us, and we will facilitate whether it's on Clubhouse or whether it's on LinkedIn Live. I think you and I can absolutely bring some attention to this. And
Sure.
Los Angeles, a major market, and where you are in your career and where I'm at in my career, I think that we appeal to a broad audience. And I would love to be a resource and keep the conversation going, because I'm sure there's a million things that we didn't mention, but I think we hit the big ones. It is hard.
Yeah.
You can do it. Don't take no for an answer. Don't give up. Don't give up. That's all I can say.
Stay positive. You're going to get kicked in the teeth. We all know that. We've all had it. But you got to stay positive, learn from it, and move on. So 100%. On that note, Natalie, thank you very much. I'm going to put Natalie's contact information in here, so don't hesitate to reach out to her. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. And please remember to hit this like button. And again, if you haven't subscribed, for Christ's sakes, get that done, please. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.